Yeah, good morning, people. Good morning, everyone. Grab your coffee, grab your donuts. We gonna talking about Chauncey Billups, NBA coach, and Terry Rozier, uh, arrested, illegal gambling, mafia ties, and this is crazy stuff coming out. NBA. We gonna talk about the story this morning, and yeah, what's going on? So, you know, these guys are tied to like five mafia families. Five mafia families. So this is crazy. The NBA though is acting like, oh, we no the NBA though. The NBA is acting like, oh, we didn't like y'all been working the y'all forgot what the mafia did to Michael Jordan. Y'all should have cracked on the mafia when Michael Jordan won that ring and the mafia bet against what was it, which team was it? Was it Utah? And you know, Michael Jordan took the shot, and we know what happened. His dad, hmm you know the story what happened about that. So this is sad that it came to this right here. But really and truly, um, this stuff should have been taken care of a long time ago. I guess the NBA thought they could get away with it. But yeah. Good morning, everybody. This is talk about this um, legal gambling, NBA mafia ties. Okay, you know, did 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 Gilbert Arenas snitched on you know did he snitched on Terry, even though Terry Rozier he was already in um trouble with the legal gambling situation. This is not the first time for him. A lot of stuff is going on. I mean, everybody has a side hustle, I guess. Everybody has a side hustle. You know, crazy stuff. Everybody has a side hustle. So, Terry Richard and, you know, Chauncey and them, legal gambling, you know. That's what I'm trying to figure out like um what's going on? Are these NBA players broke? Is they not making enough money? Like what's up? Chauncey's a coach. I understand, like as I said, I knew Terry was up to something. I know a lot of these players was paying these paying these what do you call it? Paying these doctors for these fake injuries. It's just ridiculous. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the people on up in here. But this is ridiculous. But yeah, it's illegal gambling going on. They said they got illegal gambling going on. And we go see what's going on with this. We're gonna run through some of these videos this morning. Shout out to everybody in here. Brown, what's going on, family? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to everybody. Miller, what's going on? But yeah, illegal gambling. Illegal gambling, Bronx. That's crazy because I'm like, damn. Did any one of these families are responsible for Michael Jordan? One of these families. Good morning, people. One of these families are responsible for Michael Jordan dad's death. So I don't know what's going on here. Why they took them that long to crack down on the five families. But yeah, they used the NBA to get the mafia. LeBron tried so hard to lie. His way out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. LeBron James is in this too, right? LeBron James is in this. I'm like, damn, LeBron, like crazy. But I know they all do it. I know majority of these players like. Hold on one second. Crazy. But I know majority of these players they do it, yo. They they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves, yo. You know, they can't help themselves. But this is a legal gambling situation, boy. Every time you turn around, an NBA player in some shit for illegal gambling. It's crazy. But as I said, I wouldn't be surprised Charles. I wouldn't be surprised Shaq. I wouldn't be surprised, a lot of people. A lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised Shaq. Hold on one second. Why is my thing on doing this? A lot of people is there's a lot of people that's in this. But let me share this video with y'all. A lot of people I wouldn't be surprised Shaq, Kenny, Charles. I wouldn't surprised that Carmelo Anthony, is involved in this too. A lot of these guys, they sit there and they do extra shit. I'm gonna lie to you, they do extra stuff. You're a player, you gotta know what you're doing, man. You gotta know how to move. Like what they say in these streets. Even though that's not the streets, but you gotta move. You gotta move. You can't be moving. It's no. And damn, the Mafia has got people in their pockets from the NBA. I can't lie, that's that's shit. That's a hustle. That's a hustle. That's a hustle. I'm not gonna lie, they had to do something because it really looked like some of these games was rigged the hell out. Rigged out. I ain't gonna lie.
Our office conducted a massive nationwide takedown from 2 indictments of 34 defendants for their alleged involvement in 2 separate illegal poker and sports betting schemes, where, as you heard,
the dude at the front looked like he was involved in illegal gambling too.
Among these defendants are 13 members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families, to include capos and soldiers from these families. Additionally, as you heard, current and former NBA coaches and players are also implicated, to include Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier.
All tied to the Mafia.
3 of the named defendants are charged for their alleged roles in both schemes. This alleged illegal gambling operation hustled unwitting victims out of tens of millions of dollars and created a financial pipeline for La Cosa Nostra to help fund and facilitate their organized criminal activity. Victims were attracted to play alongside well-known professional athletes and coaches like Chauncey Billups, only to be unknowingly deceived through rigged shuffling machines, fixing the odds in their favor, as alleged, and as you just heard from the U.S. Attorney's Office. This alleged scheme wreaked havoc across the nation, exploiting the notoriety of some and the wallets of many to fund the Italian crime families here in New York. Let me be clear about this fact. The FBI has not and will never take their eye off the ball when it comes to
Italian rigged shuffling machines. Rigged shuffling machines. Y'all better stop playing these poker games. Y'all better stop going to these casinos. Because if you got to think about it, if the Mafia if they got all this stuff, you think they don't got this stuff at the poker table at your port when you go to the poker game? Let me show you something. They do it too. They not because the mafia does it and the mafia gets away. They do it too. They do it too. You think the casino don't have a legal shuffling gambling machine that are counting cards? They think they want you to win all the time. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, people. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? But it's good to know that they have rigged, legal, shuffling, gambling machine. It's good to know, though. It's good, very good to know. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. But, man, illegal gambling is like the new hustle for rich people. You know, we got like, some people do scams or, do other stuff to get money. Rich people out here doing gambling, or they've been extorted by the mafia. But I'm just saying, though, it's crazy because Chauncey can't really turn on the mafia like that, because if y'all remember, the mafia is the reason why your boy, what's his name? Michael Jordan, that ain't here no more. Pay up your gambling bet and you're gonna lose somebody. And I think that's why Michael Jordan himself stopped gambling. He might be involved in it too. I don't know. Pay up your gambling bet. I don't know. I'm gonna say Michael Jordan is a big time gambler. Big time. He gambles a lot. He does a lot of those. I ain't gonna lie. He does a lot of yeah. I'm telling you, they run this shit. They showed you that they run this shit from Goodfellas. They know who's sick, who's on coke, you know what I mean? Who's having a bad back, who's not gonna play tonight, who's not gonna pass the ball, who's not gonna score, who's not, who'll be out for 4 weeks. The mob, they know all of that. They know all of that. But they've been running. That's what I'm saying. People acting like it, I think it's funny how they use the NBA players to get the mafia. And they talk about they have more of the NBA players. They have more of the NBA players' faces up there. Like, you know what I mean? Up there, like they're the leader of the pack. I have Chauncey face up there like he's the leader of the crowd. You know what I mean? We should have if these guys are co-accused, we should have all these, everybody connected to them at least. I mean, like, geez. I'm just saying. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, man. Y'all heard it. The Gambino. The 5 families of New York. 5 families of New York. That's why I think this Diddy thing, distraction thing was to get these guys up in New York. I swear to God. I swear it was to get that, man. I don't know. Something here is just crazy. Man, the mafia. That's what they said. They always watch y'all, but they use, crazy. A lot of stuff is going to happen. A lot of stuff is going to happen.
Italian organized crime in this city, specifically the LCN and the 5 families.
So I told Food Stamp. Food Stamp tried to tell me. I told Food Stamp a week ago. He tried to tell me, that's why I like stories like this. My nigga Food Stamp tried to tell me, when I try to tell him, like, yo, the Italians, they're low key underneath the radar, run New York. He said, oh no, it's Mexicans. They bringing in the work. It's that. This proof to you, my brother, that I was not lying, that the mafia still controls things. You know what I mean? The mafia don't do small fry. They don't do small fry. They do big potato fries. They don't do small fry. I hope you guys know that. I got Italians in my family on both sides. Not saying that they're mafia, but they don't do small shit. You know, my girl's got Italian grandfather. You know, my son, great grandfather Italian. You know, on my side is true marriage, where my uncle, you know, daughter is Italian, and her mom is Italian. They don't do, you know what I mean? When it comes, them people don't do small shit. You know what I mean? What we think is money, they think of change. In real talk. So that's why I say, when I say certain things, I'm not just talking on my ass. I'm not just, you know, making the news or the media sidetrack. Tell food time. The Italians, they control New York. You know what I mean? All 5 families. They control New York. I mean, I don't know nothing about no Mexican or no Puerto Rican do no legal gambling here, because that they don't do that shit. Like, you know what I mean? They don't, you know what I mean? They don't really make fuck with things that is gonna get them caught. With legal gambling, it's kind of hard to catch people like you're gonna have to be a long investigation. You know what I mean? With dope game though, it's like, all right, we're gonna catch you over here. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy. But try to tell you, my nigga, food stamp, where you at? I try to tell you, the mafia, they control New York, brother. You know what I mean? Not the cartels, because you know what I mean. They control New York because if they got NBA players in their pockets, and if Bronze, you know, these motherfuckers been running shit since Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan took that shot, and they told Michael Jordan not to take that shot, and then he took that shot, and then they analyzed his dad. Like, come on, bro. I'm trying to tell people, like, yo, that motherfucker, like what the FBI said. Not because you guys are, you know, not moving around, or you guys are just doing in one spot, or not, you're not visual. Doesn't mean that we're still not watching. They're watching it. Like I said, the FBI will have someone serve, you know what I mean, serve you a coffee, or, you know what I mean, be at the poker game serving you cards. You know what I mean? That's why they know the shuffle deck was what do you call it? They know the deck was fake. It was you know, they was rigged, because they had one of their own FBI team members came and looked and said, whoa. You know what I mean? This shit is rigged. You see what I'm saying? So when you are you know, when you have intelligence like that, these guys are like that. They're gonna be in the game. So when you think that there's nobody in the game, you think that's just the new girl shuffling the cards to the FBI. You know, that's how they work. That's how they work.
Police here in New York. We are not going to permit any criminal enterprise, whether it be Italian organized crime, Asian organized crime, Eurasian organized crime. We're not going to permit any of those organized crimes, families, and organizations to operate in our city or our country, as evidenced by the 11 states that were also participating in this operation today. The FBI office here in New York remains committed to eradicating all unlawful revenue streams fueling this criminal activity. As with most cases we've worked, this is only the tip of the iceberg for the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Our LCN squad agents and analysts are continuing to work day and night with the Eastern District of New York to ensure members and associates of the 5 families cannot continue to wreak havoc in our communities. Today would not have been possible without the tireless efforts and dedication of the FBI New York Eurasian Organized Crime Task Force, which, as you heard, was led by Supervisory Special Agent Luke Hardison, and the Italian Organized Task Force, which was led by Supervisory Special Agent Mike Malahi. And coincidentally, Supervisory Special Agent Malahi is going out on a positive, as he is retiring at the end of this month for 30 years of dedicated service to the FBI, and that deserves a hand. He's what we call a legend here at FBI New York.
You hear that?
Take their eye off the ball. Organized Crime Task Force, which extend my appreciation to Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent in Charge, Ricky Patel. Of course, we do nothing in this city. Ability, like the director said, PD, to send it upon the homes of individuals.
So, like, if you notice, he just said, dude's about to retire, right? After all that. That's the work. When you inform on the FBI, on the mob, as the FBI, it's not easy work. You gotta move. You gotta retire. You hear what he said? Dude's about to retire after all what they just did. You know what I mean? That means they've been watching this Mafia family, this Five family for years. Years. They've been watching this family for years. Yeah, for years. And they I said that's how it works. I try to tell people all the time, like, yo, you don't even know, like, the Mafia is like, it's so crazy, bro, like, because they'll be right there and they'll be working a 9-to-5 job. That's how deep the Mafia is. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Why do you think you could never, you know what I mean? They're not gonna open a big business like the rest of them, and you know what I mean, and give up their location. They have a little thing going on, a bar or something small, you know what I mean, or some type of, you know what I mean, nothing too, like, but I'm just saying, like, I tell people all the time, man, I don't argue with people. I try to tell you, like, I know these are the facts. These guys are like the FBI. They hide in plain sight. They out here. That's what they do. Terry Rozier, now this dude right here, I know how he's so bad lucky. He got caught. He get caught. For this crime. Not the first time. I'm just trying to think, like, did they let him go to get somebody? Like, when somebody get caught, they're like, oh, we're going to let you go just to catch somebody else. Or did Gilbert Arenas, I don't know if Gilbert Arenas snitched on him. Because remember, Gilbert Arenas was with the Mafia too, right? He got caught up with the Mafia, but that was not Italian Mafia. That was it, Oh, wow, here we go. So now, here's a conspiracy theory. We give up the Israel Mafia for the Italian Mafia. Wow. That is crazy. I could be wrong. I don't know if Trump is you gotta, like, keep playing these games, Keep playing these games. The government can, I said we, the government keep playing this game. I don't know if they're giving up, because what? No, this is because we gotta pay attention to what happened. There's the Israel Mafia, the Israeli Mafia that Gilbert Arenas got, that he got caught with, right? And what else I was gonna say? He got caught up with the Israel Mafia, right? Why those guys don't get their day in court though? Yeah, so we grab the Italian Mafia first before we grab the Israel Mafia, and we threatened. And we are, it seems like we're threatened, we're just, I don't know, they might not want to do that. They might not want to choose sides. If they're choosing sides, I don't know, they might not want to do that, I think they're choosing sides right now. You know, they might not want to do that. They gotta lock both. They gotta lock both of them crime families up. The Israel crime family, Mafia, and that's going after the Italians. And remember, as I said, the Italians always have some type of tie to the government, always some type of government intel. But people, we got to pay attention to this and really pay attention to this, right? The Israeli, right? They got caught in illegal gambling with Gilbert Arenas, right? So why we don't hear nothing about them? Why is we going after the 5 families? I told people that the Mafia is still in New York. People think I'm lying. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why I like when stories come out like this, because it shows you I'm not just sitting there watching, just watching, just talking or listening to what other people say. I put my own thing to it, and I try to. Sometimes I put a little conspiracy thing just to see where that goes and see where it's connected to. But I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, this thing is gonna a lot of stuff is gonna come out. One thing about the Italian Mafia, they could get secrets out there. Yeah, they probably have somebody with somebody else's wife right now, picture ready about to expose somebody. They probably got the FBI director with some other girl, with somebody trying or something. The FBI is not. I don't think they're playing fair right now. They gotta prosecute the Israeli Mafia too. They can't just be going after the Italian Mafia and prosecute them. It's gonna make you look like, you're choosing sides. The government's choosing sides. The Republican government. It looks like you're choosing sides. You can't take down the Italian Mafia and don't take down the Israeli Mafia. I know you guys control certain things, and I know all that. You guys are playing a serious game right here. Really, not really safe. A lot of stuff is gonna come out. Locking up the FBI Mafia. Could you imagine how much secrets? I mean, the FBI locking up the Mafia. Can you imagine what secrets they sit in there and talk about? How many stuff they know? You know what stuff they know. And then this guy's about to retire, because he knows he about to retire talking about he a legend. But why you retiring if you're not gonna prosecute the Israeli Mafia? But you're attacking the Italian Mafia. I mean, you guys look like you guys are choosing sides. I'm just saying, if Gilbert Arenas and all that is connected to that, why didn't them niggas get arrested first? Why did they get raided? Why are we locking up the 5 families? So you guys got a lot to explain. As I said, these guys, they're not, something's going on here. Something fishy is going on. Something fishy is going on.
Individuals who for years have operated with the false sense of impunity, a false sense of incivility. In the early hours of today, across 9 states, coast to coast.
I think the referees too. The referees are involved. I don't think most of the players. I think some of the referees are involved too, with some of the mob ties and illegal gambling, because the calls that they call, tell me that these referees are not connected to illegal gambling. They make some stupid ass calls. Not a dumb call. Just saying. Illegal gambling shit. Illegal gambling shit it's crazy to me. But whatever.
Dozens of defendants were arrested,
and will face the consequences of their alleged crimes. This was their wake-up call. With the alleged involvement of 3 La Cosa Nostra crime families, 1 NBA head coach, a Hall of Famer, no less, and former NBA players, the years of investigative work that culminated with this morning's operation seem reminiscent of a Hollywood movie. But this wasn't luck, and this wasn't theatrics. This was an evidence-driven, relentless...
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The FBI is always right there. You think, they're right there. Why do you think dudes... I guarantee the FBI dude that was about to quit, he was the dude that was acting like he was somebody else, like he was a part of the crew. Man.
And unified effort among law enforcement. Through what we have dubbed Operation Royal Flush, HSI New York, along with our task force personnel from the Waterfront Commission, first uncovered this scheme more than 4 years ago. Agents and investigators dedicated countless hours and sleepless nights in identifying the criminal network, dissecting communications and patterns, and following the money with precision. We built the case, piece by piece, and what we discovered was a sprawling criminal enterprise that utilized cutting-edge technology and various methods of deception to dupe unsuspecting gamblers into paying up so that these defendants could cash out. As alleged, this sophisticated conspiracy cheated victims out of at least $7 million and placed the public and the defendants alike at risk. This case involved global reach, financial depth, and the patience to dismantle complex financial criminal enterprises from the inside out. When criminal organizations attempt to launder profits through our country,
that dude right there, the FBI dude right there, the guy in the blue tie, he looks like he got something to worry about too. Look like his name might get caught up. He look like he worrying about something. It could be wrong, but I'm just saying he looks kind of like, man, I wonder if my name's gonna get caught up. I'm involved in something. Ish. This is wild. It is wild. 7 million. 7 million. A lot of these machines are rigged. I don't know. That's why I don't bet. People bet and they, it just seems like the regular betting is more rigged than the illegal gambling. I'm just saying. Yes, that's illegal gambling too. The load management, bro. That right there is something else. It's like, what the heck? You know what I mean? It's just like what we started off this season with, like, you know what I mean? Look, the sports is messed up right now. Look what's going on in the NFL world. Look what's going on in the basketball world. LeBron's not on the court. Jason Tatum's not on the court. Tyrese Halliburton's not on the court. And we go to your boy there from Cincinnati, man. We go to the NFL. We got Flacco moving around from different teams playing part-time quarterbacks. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? We're not protecting the players just because we're trying to make money. It's real though. Having all these basketball players on the bench, Joel, all them players, I swear them niggas be betting on themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if you get caught up in illegal gambling too, yeah. Real talk. It's crazy. This is wild. This is crazy. This might ruin the career of the NBA. This might ruin the sport of the NBA. I ain't gonna lie. Because every time we turn around, bro. Remember, we had the boy down here in the Raptors too, Michael Porter Jr. brother. You know what I mean? I was in that. I was betting on himself, making millions, 2 million, 3 million. Half of what he was getting paid. I don't think the players, I think once they get to the NBA and they see how it works and what they're doing, they're like, nah, I really gonna do my things my way. I gotta wait in line. I gotta let this team win. So they gotta stop doing that. They gotta stop handpicking the team. So when you handpick the team, when you're telling, it's like when you're going around and say, all right, today we're gonna make, this year we're gonna make the, New York win. Or, next year we're gonna make Houston Rockets win. And everybody knows that. There's going to be illegal betting. It's going to be all that. So they need to start rigging. They need to do their part too. Load management, all of that stuff. They need to do their part too, because you got to understand, people need to eat. And if they know that, and we are all here betting on these players, and imagine Terry Richard, right? You bet on him, right? You bet on him playing for the Heat, and he could shoot the three. And that's why he's not shooting the three like he used to shoot the three, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Y'all is out here crazy, boy, with it. And that's why he's not shooting the three like he used to shoot the three, brother. Real talk. Because you could shoot the ball. You were shooting the ball. Like, you could ball. Like, so y'all are making more off illegal gambling than y'all are making on your salary. That's what y'all are telling me? Is that what they saying? Is that what they're saying? That these players are actually making more money on the sideline? This is crazy. I can't. This is crazy to me. This is crazy work. I can't, like, crazy work.
HSI connects the dots and shuts it down. To anyone who thinks intimidation, fraud, or violence will shield their profits, understand this. If you are exploiting our communities, expect HSI and all of our law enforcement partners at your door. I would like to thank all our partners here today. Obviously, the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York, the Waterfront Commission, the FBI, the NYPD, and the prosecutors that will carry this forward. Today's arrests are not an endpoint. They are the start of accountability. Thank you, and I now turn it over to Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch.
Yeah, I tell you, the Mafia makes the money. Anybody knows that. Browns, anybody knows that. I'm down here too, because they got Mafia ties from here, Canada to Philadelphia. They're like New York, and then Mafia ain't no, you see what I'm saying? And they make the most money in the business. They make the most money in the business. I laugh when people say, oh, no. You still got to report to them. You still got to be in a room with them, and they could still tell you where to operate. So if you're operating in the east side New York, you're still going to have to report to them. You might not see them in public, but you know what I mean? The message goes through them. You can't, certain things you can't move certain way. It's just like that. So I'm trying to tell you, these people are smart people, and they're smarter than ever. Because of the technology. That's how they know to move, because they've got law enforcement, and sometimes they got some, might got an FBI in their pocket too. But this dude right here in the blue tie, looking like he looking like he's the only one that's not laughing. You know what I mean? He look like he's shaking his boots. Look, his eyes are closed. He looks scared and terrified. Everybody on the other side that's wearing the FBI jackets is kind of like, yeah, making their little jokes. But he looked like he knows somebody that knows somebody. I'm just saying. Allegedly. Trying to tell you, it's always, let me show you something. You could always point it out the crooked police officer who was giving out the information when everyone's laughing and then the next one's not laughing. And then the other one's on the other side. And this dude right here looks like he's sweating. Like when I say he's so scared that somebody is gonna somebody see him on TV. Because remember, the mafia does not. Don't think the mafia don't know what's going on in the FBI. Don't know what they plan. So that's it.
Good morning. Thank you to Director Patel, Assistant Director
But I'm
Rand.
saying it's crazy. 31 arrests, right? But we ain't seen nobody. But honestly, I don't think Chauncey knew what was going on. That's gonna be the outcome of this. I don't think Chauncey Billups know what was going on. In this thing right here. Well, some say he did, but I don't know. We gonna find out if he did, but I don't think he really knew what was going on. I don't think so. That's just me. I don't think he really knew what was going on. No. They say he did. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. He did because that's the thing. If you got like a police officer that's undercover and that's nearby and they're watching you, they're gonna know when you got it. They're gonna know. They're gonna know that this dude over here, they involved. Man, Chauncey, damn. Really. I wonder if he was betting on his team too while he was coaching the team. I wonder if he was betting on the team while he was coaching. That is crazy. Yeah. I wonder if he was, yeah, crazy. Crazy. Wow, this is bad for the sports. But like what Browns noted, the Mafia, I got to understand how long Michael Jordan has been playing a long time. And from them times, D-Wade, people in Chicago. You know what I mean? Yeah, all Mafia time. All time. You think D-Wade wouldn't go look protection from them people and John up with them people with their circle? Real time. Scary. Man. Y'all like y'all don't see it, but pay attention.
Attorney Nocella, what we're announcing today is not just another takedown. It's the result of more than 2 years of coordinated investigative work by the NYPD's Joint Organized Crime Task Force and the FBI. 2 cases that exposed criminal networks led by 34 individuals who believed the rules did not apply to them. They hid behind layers of complexity, behind
they said
money,
34 people.
and behind.
Well, they said they arrested right on the top of the screen. It said 31 arrests. I'm gonna tell you, some people have been, some people are, have been. It said 34, right? It said 31 arrests at the top. I'm just saying. Attention to this shit. I'm just trying to think on it, Legal gambling is legal gambling. You can't say the president is still. Some people might say, "Oh, the president taking them." They hate out the NBA because the majority of the players are, are Democrats or black. I don't. It's just like that. Man. It's like movie. It's like these movies or these TV shows where you see, once about money, and a rich person could give somebody a good idea, and they got money too. I said maybe I don't know. Maybe Chauncey didn't know these people were part of the mafia. We don't know, but man, this is sure. Like, NBA players ain't like what? Y'all ain't making money. Y'all ain't comfortable. What y'all have? Y'all can't be great. Thankful. What you have? Man, give me some money. Let me know when these games are going on so I can go bet.
Influence believing those things would shield them from accountability. The first case, Operation Nothing But Bet, exposed a gambling ring built around professional basketball, where players and associates allegedly used inside information to manipulate prop bets on major sports betting platforms. They placed wagers on unders on players to score less, rebound less, assist less, using information that was not yet public. In some instances, players...
Wow, and that's some good intel. That's some really good intel right there. Boy, man, imagine anybody had that much money. That's why I don't bet. That's why I don't bet, because it's always rigged. If they're not rigging it, if somebody's on the side that's not rigging it, you see how everybody go, who gonna get more ting tonight? How much yards? All these commercials. Less more yards. No more yards. Need more yards. No. That, I think that's illegal too. They shouldn't have apps and commercials like that. That's also illegal to me, if you ask me. Just saying. All that stuff is just like, it's crazy, because if you are the legal way is making more money than that way, you know what I mean? That means if the legal way is making more money in that way, that means the right way is also, that's why I say gambling is either way, gambling is not really a good thing. The legal way, yes, they're making more, but also on the right way, they could make more. So they're also doing something that you can't make more in the right way of gambling. What's going on, Stomp? Good morning. Yeah, but that's crazy though. It's no, but you hear the intels that they have though, food stamp? They had intels out before. It's like when they come up and they're like, yo, let me bet. We're gonna bet on this. We're gonna bet on Terry Rozier tonight. He's gonna score 20 points, 12 points, 15 points. You see what I'm saying? But before the ad and the commercial come on, somebody's already telling somebody. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't bet on that. This is what's gonna happen in the fourth. This is gonna happen 2 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game. Yo, that's some intel. But I'm just saying though, if they're doing it like that, I think also that the right way of betting, they could make what you're making is but they could also where you could make more and keep more of the money. I don't know the word. I don't bet. I don't get into this. I don't trust these stuff. Even like hearing that they had a machine that was, shuffling cards and all that stuff is stupid.
Altered their performance or took themselves out of games to make sure that those bets paid out. One example occurred on March 23rd, 2023 in Charlotte. Terry Rozier, an NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash. As the NBA season tips off, his career is already benched, not for injury, but for integrity. As a result of this investigation, 6 defendants, including Rozier, are now facing conspiracy to commit bank and wire fraud. In a second case, Operation Zen Diagram, investigators uncovered a long-running scheme in which members and associates of several well-known organized crime families rigged high-stakes poker games across the country. These operatives included capos and multiple soldiers from the Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese crime families, bringing 4 of the 5 families together in a
Yeah, I told you. Hey, food stamp. I told you about the New York Mafia family, yo. They, yo, wasn't I telling you like a week ago? Like these niggas, they move silently, my nigga. Like they don't might not sell the stuff, but you still need their permission. You know what I mean? And you got to think about it when you have, and don't believe they don't got police or FBI. You know what I mean? Or one of these. That's why they know. Like just that the FBI, whoever that was working with them, switched on them. Yo, I told you, these people are, and as I always listen to them. Why you hear Italian, an ex-Italian, whispering and telling somebody something where to bet? I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's not bet. You know what I mean? This is crazy. This is crazy because they control the game. The game, they control the rigged game. Look what happened. That's why I said the NBA has always been like that. I don't know so much about football and them controlling football. At one point, I know they had a hand in football. I don't know if they do. They still have a hand in that, but they do have their hands all over everybody's pocket in the NBA. And I think they also got the just now. Anderson Silva is gonna have to step his ass down because I believe they got a strong hold on him. The Mafia, I think they got a strong hold on him. Everybody getting caught, and I think now we gotta remember, you know, the Mikel, was it Mikel, the dude from Detroit? What was his name? Some dude from Detroit. You gotta remember, he got picked up for illegal gambling because everyone talking about Gilbert Arenas being a snitch. That dude that got picked up and got all his charges waived for illegal gambling. Nothing came out. We didn't see nothing. We gotta understand. He could be the nigga that them, you know, but he younger, but he could have been one of them games, and you know, he could have seen something, and he could have said something to the police. God, this is wild.
Single indictment is extraordinarily rare. It reflects how deep and how far this investigation reached and the skill and the persistence it took to get here. That work uncovered a deliberate, technologically sophisticated operation designed to carry out their crimes. They used custom shuffling machines that could read the order of cards, barcoded decks, and hidden cameras built into tables and light fixtures. The organizers also enlisted well-known...
Yeah, but I don't think that... I think the casino, they got that shit too. They got all the stuff that they saying that it's illegal and you know, the casinos got all that shit. All the stuff that they talking about. The casinos got all that. All of that. Building cameras here and stuff, spying on you, looking at your hand. You know, wow, that's some high technology. Yo, that's how people are moving these days. If that's how people are moving these days. That means if you're friggin' even on your phone, you know, if that's how people are moving in casino and places like that, and gambling houses and places like that, you know what I mean? Because that type of activities in the casino too. That's trying to act like it's not, you know, like, oh, they're not cheating in there too. That's why people never win. That's why they only let you win to an extent, because they also have those cheating things. You see, anything the Mafia has, it's in the casino. It's just that right now, they're exposing what they have in the casino. Because those are the tools that are making people not win. You know, you're reading the deck, you know, and all that other stuff, and you're controlling the game. That's like what they're controlling the game. Yeah, you guys are controlling the game. That's why, once again, don't go to these casinos, because right now you're gonna look at this and be like, yeah, Chauncey this and Terry, you know, they in this mess. But on the bright side, on the flip side, you gotta ask yourself, if these guys have all this stuff and they're having it, because they're rich, dude, they're not just gonna have a built-in board with certain things. These are stuff that they know it's already, because they have. That's why they try to set they their gambling spots or their illegal gambling spots, like what do you call it? Like a mini casino, because you know they got the intel of the same stuff. But I believe the same stuff, the same deck that they used to shuffle the cards and read people's hand and all that stuff, it's the same cards. It's the same stuff that they have. The cameras and all that stuff input, into the machines, watching you, as I said, that's kind of creepy because if you got your phone, and you're making a bet with your phone and you're sitting somewhere, that's why I said it's crazy. Like bets right now, they're thinking with your bet, right? So they don't want you to bet because I'm pretty sure a lot of people right now, like food stamp and people that I know that are betting on these games, but they're not comfortable with the food stamp money or bronze or my people who bet off the internet, like down here out here in Ontario. They don't want that money. They want the rich people that money, because they know they're betting millions and 5 million to $1 million at once. They want their money, and it seems like legal gambling is putting them out of business. These players, it's just crazy. But did he injure? Like, shouldn't the NBA get some type of fine for that? As a player, if a player is betting against himself or betting on himself, and if a player say he's injured, then the NBA should know that. That means they're not really, they're really the doctors or the NBA. Everyone's taking money. The doctors got to sign you off. Doctors should let you know, like, yeah. That's why you got to question yourself when a lot of these players come back and they just, then they're like, again, later they're out months later. As I said, this is bad for the sports of basketball, bad for the game. Bad for the game of basketball. Might as well just take the game off every, just put it on every basic TV network, all the games. That's why I said when they come with the 60 game thing, it's crazy because people still doing stuff like this. And they always gonna do it because shit, they do it too. As long as it's like it don't matter. So you're telling me if I don't go bet on an app or something, if I call food time and be like, all right, Browns, we go, I don't bet tonight. We got, I got 50 on the game. This is gonna happen tonight. This is that. The team wins. They bring me the money. That's illegal because I don't bet on the app. And it's I guess it's who you're betting it with. But I don't think the messed up part is that Chauncey probably like he was getting extorted by the Mafia. And you gotta understand, like, once again, Chauncey goes back a long time. Kobe, Michael Jordan days. Right? So, the Mafia they've been having for a long time, like a long time. You working with the Mafia is like it's like extension for the FBI or the police. You're gonna be with them for a long time. You're not just gonna be tied up with them 5 years ago. And that's how they work. So he must have been, with that shit since his early days of basketball. Crazy. Craziness. Wow. He must have been with them in the long days of basketball.
Public figures, former and current NBA players and coaches, including Chauncey Billups, the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, an NBA champion and a Hall of Famer, to make the games appear legitimate. Victims believed that they were sitting at a fair table. Instead, they were cheated out of millions. One victim in particular lost $1.8 million. In total, losses exceeded $7 million and continue to climb. And
so who was the victim, LeBron? It's not illegal. Like, oh, that's crazy. So it's legal for you, but it's not legal for me? Or it's legal when you're losing, but it's not legal when you're winning? Oh, you see what I'm talking about? Y'all see this though, right? It's illegal when you're losing. It's not legal when you're winning. These same equipment that they have y'all shuffling cards, it's the same equipment they got in the casino. You know what I mean? 10 years from now, we're going to hear something like this with Nas and his casino. Oh, he got legal shit going on in there. Da. You know what I mean? Because these are the same equipments in the casino, allegedly. I'm not really talking bad on Nas, because the reason why I brought Nas up in there, because Nas and Kenny Smith, which is connected to the NBA, is also in business. You know what I mean? So Nas has just got, if I was Nas right now, I'm staying away from the NBA. Kenny, we could do something, but we can't do a deal right now, bro. Y'all are hot over there. The NBA is hot. You know what I mean? Y'all passing the rock, hot potato. Y'all is hot. Y'all gotta stay over there for a bit. Y'all hot. They're hot. Hot potato. That's the rock. You know, but now that's the next thing Nas gotta watch himself for. That right there is, I don't know. You know, got to stay away from these NBA, because the NBA is bad right now. It's like not bad like that, but you're out looking at it like, damn, all these rich, involving or something. And it's not only the black players, because you got to remember the European players too. You got, Joker's brother that they charged him for beating up a fan or whatever, assaulting a fan. It's just too much, right? But this illegal gambling, because the players, I don't think the players care, because the NBA is taking a lot of their money. Now the NBA they know, but they don't say nothing, because they really can't say nothing, because not really, because they wanted to go on. The investigation is already there, so you really can't say nothing to tip off the suspect as Anderson Silva. So you really can't say nothing to the players or the coaches that are doing these things. But it looks bad on them, because it looks like, somebody doesn't want to pay out the players, right? Some of these players, like, I see that they're getting money. Man, it's crazy. And some of these players, I swear, like Terry, he's a good basketball player. He like I'm gonna say somebody could help him come out, as a third option, not a second or first one. But jeez, it looks bad. I don't see nobody in the NFL doing all this. NFL, they making their money. I guess they keeping all of it too. They keeping all of it. You see the players, boy, they shining. Like, you see the running backs? You know what I mean? Chase, all of them. Justin Jefferson, Lamar, Derrick Henry, them boys shining when they got the ball running that football. You know what I mean? Some of these players, why don't they getting the money like that? Something's going on with these players. Why they doing all this? I see why Terry. I don't see why, Chauncey Billups will do all that, because I mean the NBA does, you know what I mean. So now you got beef with. That's what I'm saying. You can't beef with them, because if you think, even if they rob you and you're like, you know what, fuck it, yeah, they're supposed to give me a bag anyway. It's just like Luka. If Luka be like, fuck it, they they cut me at $30 million last year. They traded me to the Lakers. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make it back. I'm gonna go legal gambling. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna bet. Yeah, I mean, that LeBron is not gonna score 20 tonight. I'm gonna do all this stuff. Luka do that now. It's done. So you can't do all that. So like, you can't. That's why I said a lot of these basketball players, when they do that, and then they come back out of nowhere after a while, they start scoring and playing all. I said it's because they pay off their debt, or they just what I say this want to make the money back to pay off their debt. That's why you see certain players, they'll ball out in that night. The NBA does it too. They bet not because they got an app and a little fucking website. They do it too. They'll tell you like, you know what? They'll be like, all right. They'll ask you, oh, is Chauncey or Terry gonna score tonight, right? Oh, they gonna no, my bad. Let me do something younger. They'll ask you if Austin and Luka is gonna score tonight, right? They'll be like, how much is Luka and Austin's gonna score tonight? If they're gonna score 20 or over 100, right? So they do that now. And we know Luka could shoot the shit out of the ball, right? Luka gets 12, maybe 20, my bad, 18. Now we got a nigga like Aiden, Aiden, the center that they got over there, just comes out of nowhere and scores 30, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. What the fuck? We know this nigga ain't a player like that. That's illegal gambling. You know what I mean? That's rigging the game also. Because you're telling the player, like, look, we don't want you to score that much tonight. Tonight's going to be 8 tonight. You know what I mean? We just want you to score only 12 points. We don't need you to, you know what I mean? And you got to listen to the, you know what I mean? Your team, your coach, the system. So they got to do something about that too, if you ask me. They got to do something about it. They is also rigging the game. They also controlling what's going on in the game. The NBA is a big part of doing it. That's why these players are bent. That's why they're okay. That's why you see a player, and I know this is most likely the new players, or like, player like him, or the younger players that just come in the game, that's easy to influence because they understand the money. So they're like, if I'm supposed to get 100 mil, and I'm getting some of these, you know what I mean? But the NBA, they'll take 30 off your deal and want you to go do a podcast. You're gonna make it back. Like, it's illegal. You can't tell Luka and Austin Reeves not to score 20 tonight and pass the ball to Aiden. Only make Aiden score. And we know Aiden don't average that much. Just to throw off the bet at a night. Just so you can take money out of people's pockets. It's illegal. You can't just, and I heard players say it all the time. Well, the ref told me not to score tonight because tonight is this person's night, and we need to stay the numbers for the odds. Knock it off, man. It's illegal. Stop.
When people refused to pay, these defendants did what organized crime has always done. They used threats, they used intimidation, and they used violence. It's the same pattern that we have seen for decades. Traditional mob enforcement methods combined with new technology to expand the reach of their operations. Now, with the unsealing of today's indictment, 34 individuals are facing charges, including robbery, extortion, money laundering, wire fraud, bank fraud, and illegal gambling. I want to commend the outstanding work of our detectives from the Joint Organized Crime Task Force and their dedication to these cases, especially Captain Ruben Pagan, Sergeant Chris McGuire, Detective Alexander Creamer, Detective James McCullough, and of course, our Chief of Detectives, Chief Kenny. As part of these investigations, our members recovered and reviewed thousands of hours of video, conducted extensive surveillance on illegal gambling locations across the city, and executed more than 24 search warrants on electronic records that revealed the true extent of this conspiracy. Once again, the work of our detectives, together with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, closed those gaps before they could widen further. The NYPD is proud to stand with each of you today as these cases represent the kind of partnership that defines modern law enforcement agencies, sharing intelligence, coordinating resources, and moving as one team. Thank you.
Yeah, man. They got a lot. These boys are in.
If anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask, now is the time.
I had a question about the structure of the case. Is it the investigation into one case, did that lead into the discovery of the other? How you can talk more about the link between the two.
I'm not at liberty to discuss either the background of the investigation itself or the investigation as it continues. So I'm afraid I can't really explain to you other than the fact that both cases have been unsealed today, and there was an overlap that has been discussed already with respect to certain of the defendants. Yes.
Chauncey Billups claimed that he had a gambling addiction. Did Rozier or Billups or David Jones mean the same thing at all?
With respect to any allegations or defenses that have been made by any of the defendants, they will have their opportunity to present them in court. We're not here to air those at this time or to discuss them. Yes.
You said the investigation is still ongoing. There seems to be several players referencing indictments, some that may potentially have the possibility of future arrests of NBA players in connection to the sports gambling operation.
As I said, I can't discuss ongoing investigations. The investigation is ongoing, which by definition means that there will be further evidence uncovered at a minimum. And there's always that possibility. But I can't comment any further with respect to that. Yes.
Thank you. Director Patel, you had said in your comments, we're going to take heat for this case. Why do you say that? And what efforts might you take to counter that?
Yeah, I think that Gilbert Arenas, that Gilbert Arenas arrest was a sideshow just to throw them off. I think that was just to throw them off. I don't even think that's a real thing that's going on. And we did nothing like this. That was a sidetrack shit I was going on. It's madness, bro.
It's not popular to go after some of the defendants that we went after today, but justice is served blindly. And how do we countermand that? Simple. The unsealing of these indictments today shows the force of the Department of Justice and our great Attorney General and the leadership that we have at the FBI and the team here to specifically mete out justice. And look, let's not, mince words. This is the insider trading saga for the NBA. That's what this is. That's why we are going to take heat. But as the evidence comes out, as the indictments are unsealed, you will see the extensive work these men and women put in, countless hours over years, and that's how we countermand it.
So the dates of these indictments that they were filed are October 9th and October 16th. Can you talk about the timing of moving in now? Why now?
We will not publicly discuss the timing of when we do takedowns. I will only say that we do takedowns in a coordinated fashion with our law enforcement partners and the U.S. Attorney at the appropriate time to make sure that we ensure the integrity of the investigation, as the United States Attorney said, an investigation that is very much ongoing.
Director Patel, you said insider trading for the NBA. What are the implications of this case for other sports leagues and for the legal gambling industry in general?
Simple. If you're participating in the legal gambling industry, you got nothing to worry about. If you're participating in illegal conduct, you got everything to worry about, and this case shows it.
Did the illegal conduct cross with the legal sports betting platforms in any capacity? And if so, is that the search warrants that the police commissioner just referenced?
I'm not sure I quite understand your question. You're asking if the illegal conduct,
if it crossed with like the sports betting industry or the online sports betting industry.
the sports books themselves are victims in this case. They themselves did not, as far as our investigation has concluded, they did not perpetrate anything unlawful.
Are you able to say which sports books or online outlets they use to make these bets?
I'm not going to respond to that at this time, but that information will be made public. Yes.
Can you identify the access point where these co-conspirators were able to recruit these, famous people to partake in the schemes?
When you say the access point,
Recruit them.
I'm not sure which case you're referring to.
Oh.
Well,
Rozier, how he was recruited, Damon Jones in the NBA scandal, and then Billups for the poker.
we're not at liberty to say that at this time. That will be revealed in due course. Yes. What is your question, sir?
Hey, thanks for being here. You just said that the sports books themselves are the victims, at least in the indictment involving Terry Rozier and others.
They're among the victims.
Those companies make, as we all know, they make a crazy amount of money off of a lot of everyday Americans make bets and mostly lose them. Are you concerned with a jury potentially not being sympathetic in a case where the victims, as you say, are these multi-million or billion-dollar gambling companies?
Let me repeat that all of the defendants themselves are presumed innocent. We believe that at a trial, when they have the opportunity to present their defenses, if they chose, because they're not required to, we will come forward with the evidence to demonstrate their guilt. Yes. The answer to your question is yes, the NBA has cooperated with the investigation. Yes, sir.
College basketball elements in this. Can you confirm that? Or
NBA has to cooperate.
Part of this investigation.
They don't want to set them up.
The investigations that we announced today did not involve college basketball.
NBA is going to cooperate. They're the one that set them up in the first place.
There was an emphasis on the Italian crime presence, organized crime in New York. Can you give us a sense of?
They got to cooperate. They don't want to set them up. Come on. Way too easy. NBA boy. He's shifting. Don't play with them. Don't play with the NBA, man. That was mine. They would let them people get me. It's sad though. It's sad to see what's going on. I thought Chauncey and them was making mad money. I thought the NBA was out here paying people, what they're supposed to get. I thought they was protecting the players. The NBA players. Yeah. I don't know. Cheaper out of everything and Mafia. NBA players, yeah. I don't know. Let me see what she put up. Wow. Yeah, tired, my bad. I don't know why she put that up there. Try to put a title up for me and it's come out like that. I don't see. Yeah. I don't know how the NBA players got that. How they got that. This shit's crazy. It's just crazy. I did not see that. I was my bad on that. Thanks for pointing that out, bro. Who sounds good point that out? Yeah. Man. Looking bad out here for these players. Looking bad out here for these players. Bad. Looking bad out here for these players. So looking bad. Looking bad out here for these players. Looking bad. Mm-hmm. You got that shit fixed, but someone was playing the players out here looking bad. NBA is looking out here bad because they're not really paying people. That's supposed to be. Legal gambling is the way, yo. Rich people are doing it. They're doing it every day.
The strength and status of the Italian organized crime in New York right now?
No, I'm sorry. That would be a question that goes beyond what we're here to discuss today, which is these two indictments. Thank you.
Crime in New York. Can you give us a sense of the strength and
what are the strengths in organized crime in New York?
The investigations that we announced today did not involve college basketball.
Last question.
Yes.
There was an emphasis on the Italian crime presence, organized crime in New York. Can you give us a sense of the strength and status of the Italian organized crime in New York right now?
No, I'm sorry. That would be a question that goes beyond what we're here to discuss today, which is these two indictments. Thank you.
I told you the strength and hold that Italian got in New York. Italian got in New York. Mafia got in New York, people, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's wow. Can't lie. This is wild, yeah. Wow. But like what Brown said, what do you call it? The mob always runs the basketball team. Always run the basketball team. Michael Jordan. Was it Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan. Who else? Michael Jordan. D-Wade, was it son or mom or something like that? Or I don't know, mom. I don't know who it was. I could be wrong. It couldn't be the Mafia either. Who else? Who else? Michael Jordan, his dad. I forgot. There's a lot of players. Like the Mafia is always involved with the players for some reason. I don't know how they allow that, but it's always been like, it's always been Mafia ties with the NBA for a minute. It's always been like that. So it's crazy. It's crazy how this work, how they're trying to crack down on everything that they've been using for their advantage. I don't know. This is weird to me. Like I said, this is not good for the sport. Like, let's hope like we don't see a whole bunch of football players getting strong armed by the Mafia. But I'm just saying, if these families are in New York, why is they controlling what's going on in the NBA? Why is that? Why isn't the NBA protecting? I don't know. This is what I don't think it should have came down to. If you got to protect your. That's why I said the NFL protects they product. They don't just leave them out there to do anything. Like you got to protect your players at some point. You got to protect the player. You have. It's crazy. You can't just leave them out there for the wolves like that. Like I'm just trying to figure out how they're not protecting the players like that, how they used to. So at one point, it just seemed like everybody is like you lock somebody up, you charge them, and they still get. Like when you're like, all right, this person got arrested, this person got locked up, and then you're like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna get somebody else. The next fall guy goes, we're just gonna get somebody else. It's stupid. If you're in the game, because I said when the FBI, when they were down here and they try to do the whole come watch the NBA players over here, they shut that shit down quick. They make everybody stop. What do you call it? They tear all the flyers down and all the stuff that they was promoting the games. Yeah. The All-Star game down here was a craziness. It was crazy. So that shit right there is weak. They gotta cut that out. That shit, they gotta protect the players a little bit more. I don't know where we at right now. They gotta protect the players a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. It's like I don't know. Hopefully Chauncey get out of this. I don't see nobody go to jail or nothing, but Terry now. This is the second time. He's just a dummy. Motherfuckers just gotta, say no, man. That's it. But I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more later. I got to get myself out here and get myself, gotta work, man. I got to put in my work. So I'll see y'all next time. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm out. I'll continue this story later.